Well, this may be an extremely important video, and actually, I hope it does get around, especially to our military. Now, I'm former military. I'm not going to go brag about it. Yeah, USMC, 13 years, not whatever. But the thing is that the biggest threat to our military today is psychiatry and the psychotropic drugs they're drugging up our military with. I know the alternative media likes to point out about how our military's guarding the poppy fields in Afghanistan, and yes, that may be true, but let me tell you the other side of it. You know, the Taliban will be guarding those same fields, whatever, fine. But the thing is, no matter what you say about our military, I can guarantee you almost every other military on this planet has far more problems, with one exception. That is the psychotropic drugging of our members of our military. Now, it does happen actually in Western Europe, but I think the worst situations actually occur here in the United States. And despite any faults we have in our military in the United States, I can tell you that if you go across the world, it's a lot worse. There's a lot more corruption. There's a lot more crap going on. Don't go sticking it to our guys, you know what I mean? I don't like a lot of stuff that's going on there too. You know, whatever can I tell you, right? Now, the thing is that pisses me off about this is that many times the military is forced to take these drugs, although it's illegal to force them to take these drugs. And I'm not talking about the poppies and stuff. This is what gets me about this crap. You know, they drug test you, and you're looking for like the slightest amount of weed in your system, which I never done. You know, and actually, the military actually made me stop drinking. You know how? I got so pissed off at their crappy rules that they're always looking for somebody with a DUI. They were actually looking for people that were below the threshold, the civilian threshold, to even show that you were under the influence in any way. They got so strict on base and on in other areas that they went ahead and said that anything you register, you're going to get busted for. And I said, well, screw it. I ain't drinking, man. How's that? I just won't contribute to the tax base of the freaking government. And you know, that's really freaking inspired me to do that, because if I ever drink ever again, I'm going to make my own shit. I'll tell you that. I'll make a damn still, or I'll crush grapes and ferment them, you know. I ain't paying no taxes to the government. That's just a sideline. Tells you how I think. Now, I noticed this thing that got, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. That's a new watchword for shell shock or whatever, battle fatigue. Yeah, I know it goes on, man. I want to tell you, the thing is that there's a lot of stuff that can heal people way better than these. Well, these psychotropic drugs don't do a damn thing. They're just a freaking bunch of snake oil. They're being perpetrated by heinous individuals. Actually, if you want to go back into history, where this really started coming about, it was in World War II. They had these doctors, quote unquote, that were in, you know, the field of psychiatry. They went into the military in World War II, and that's actually when they started writing that DSM, that Diagnostic Codes Manual, where that was the embryo of it back then, and they just keep adding to it. You know, they look at any type of behavior and they make a freaking snap judgment within 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes. They say, you need this drugs. That's how they're making their money, though, man. They're freaking drug dealers. So on one hand, the military busts the crap out of anybody for even having the slightest amount of alcohol in their system, or even a trace of freaking marijuana. But on the other hand, they're freaking forcing these worst shit in the world down your throat. It's criminals all hell. And I got a solution for it at the end, actually a dual solution. You know, and actually what happens to a lot of these people, it's like, this is like the cartoon. I used to have superpowers, but the psychiatrists took them away. Now, what happens with a lot of these pills that give you, what the hell is this? I can't remember the names of it. Suprex is one of them, I think. That's an anti-anxiety drug. I don't know all these drugs, okay? And that'll cause you to gain weight. It'll slow you down. It'll take out your motivation. They got ADHD drugs. They got Haldol. They got Ativan, another freaking anti-anxiety drug. A freaking Prozac, an antidepressant. Now, this is another thing that bugs the crap out of me, because this is where I get pissed off at the freaking alternative media. And I'll tell you the truth, I think that's going on with these psychiatrists in the military. They're worse than what Adolf Hitler would have done to his troops. I don't think Adolf Hitler would have even done this to his own troops. He would have done it to somebody else, but I don't think he would have done this to his own troops. That's how bad these psychs are. They're worse than Adolf Hitler, okay? Now, the thing is, what's bugging me the most about this is that the military can't do anything about it. They got no say-so in it at all, really. They got to fill out these questionnaire, and if you say one little thing, like when you're coming off the battlefield, you got a problem. And you know the thing is, most of these suicides I was getting on with the alternative media. I forgot for a second. I got sidetracked there. The alternative media is like trying to make it look like all the suicides in the military are coming about because the United States has no just cause in its actions overseas, and the military is just despondent about, what they have to do. Not true, pal. You stupid alternative media yo-yos like Jeff Rance in particular. Sometimes the guy puts out some good shit, but I'm so tired of these people just ragging on everything the United States does. Yeah, I know, like, if Clinton gets in charge, we're going to have a real problem there, but I mean, there'll be a revolution, ain't going to be a problem. I'll be revolting. I don't even give a shit. Pussies won't. I will. But the deal is, the suicides are coming about from the psychotropic drugs being given to the military. Most people that are even committing suicide aren't even deployed. I mean, there's people being deployed that aren't even in a combat environment, and then there's people that aren't. There's like over half the suicides that people never deployed once. So what the hell kind of stress are they getting, man? I mean, for crying out loud, you get in the U.S. military, you got way more better conditions than any freaking other military on a freaking planet. They're not committing suicide over that. It's side effects from these drugs. That's where it's coming about. But you know what the deal is? It's all connected to money. Ha ha ha. Right? And, anybody connected to the health industry today pretty much is nothing but a damn drug dealer. And I can also say that about our wonderful governor probably. Who knows, man? But this is what's going on in the United States. Vaccinations, drugs, forced vaccinations in California. Time to revolt, twits. You understand? And military, the thing is, the military got no problem. This is what gets me, man. You got to obey orders. Yeah, I mean, I know, you got to give them total quality lip service. I can be, but you know what? When it comes right down to it, this country didn't come about by obeying orders. We disobeyed old King George, and he wasn't anywhere near as bad as the crap we got going on today. And, if there's a war on drugs, there should be a war on psychiatrists directly. And, the thing is, they're doing this stuff to little kids. They're doing this stuff to infants. Here you go, spoonful of pills. They're doing it to everybody. I mean, they wreck the lives of a lot of people in the military. And you got to remember, too, anything you do while you're on these drugs, you're still not going to have a defense against it. So, in other words, if you do something stupid because they gave you some Prozac or you weren't ambitious enough or whatever because you lost your motivation because they gave you drugs in the military and they give you low grades, I mean, you're not going to go back and say, look, it was because they gave me drugs and I want that reviewed. You're screwed. They screwed your career up, man. And they're forcing people to take that. That's where all these suicides are coming from. It's not because the U.S. got bad cause overseas. The psychs are doing this crap, man. They're doing this to little kids. Now, they're putting out this fiction that these meds are doing something good. And this is another thing that bugs the hell out of me. These religious idiots are like, they're actually giving money. They're going around collecting money to give to these behavioral institutes, even in the civilian world. And they're collecting money basically for heinous drug dealers. I mean, it's better if they were... I mean, even if people that smoke a lot of weed, they're not like really, well, if they smoke a little bit of weed, it doesn't affect them. I noticed that. But if they smoke a real lot of weed, it does affect them. But those kind of drug, even that drug, which is illegal, like if you're smoking a lot of it, if you have a lot of it, even in every state, there's like pretty much you can't have it unless it's for medical purposes. The thing is, that drug doesn't create the kind of harm that these psychotropic drugs do. These psychs are freaking scumbags, man. They're heinous assholes. I mean, to the max. All of them. Every single one. unless you're a naturopath. But then you're not a psychiatrist, you're a psychologist. They got a thing out there called positive psychiatry or psychology actually. Just came out in 1999 and had its first international conference in 2003. That's something new. That's actually something everybody can benefit by. And actually, I'm pro psychology because even if you fit within your normal parameters, you can still improve your life. You can be less anxious, less depressed. You can handle stress better. You can have a more positive outlook. Whatever. You could just do better. I'm actually very, very, very pro psychology. And I think natural methods are the only way, not psycho-freaking-tropic drugs. But here, they make it look like psychotropic drugs are the whole answer. The only answer for psychiatrists, well, you can do it the old-fashioned way, like the old firing squad, but we won't recommend that here on YouTube because that'll be beyond the parameters of the YouTube, whatever the hell they got now. But I'll recommend this because what's good for what the psychiatrists are putting on the troops, which is psychotropic drugs. And the psychiatrists, they know. They won't take those drugs. They'll say, oh, I don't need lithium. They'll give it to the troops, though. Here's some lithium. Oh, I don't need. How do you know you don't need lithium? That's what you say to them. You know what you do? The answer to them is make them take the lithium, make them take the Ativan, make them take the Prozac, make them take the Zyprexa, make them take the Haldol, and go have a six-pack of beer at the same time and see how well you do, buddy. That'd be better than the firing squad. You watch him freaking do like a rotating like a top and spin on his head a couple times and crash into walls, and he don't even remember what the hell he did. It'd be like somebody beat him up and nobody touched him, right? So there you go. I mean, and this is actually, I don't know if I'm putting, I talk plain. I'm pretty intelligent though, actually. But let me just tell you this. This is probably the most important topic there is. This is a non-national news topic. The major media is not going to cover it. I'm covering it right now, okay? I did cover a lot of different things about psychiatry and psychology, and actually there's a lot of things you could do. I don't want to rehash that here. I'll probably put some links on videos on the bottom, down there in the comments or something I did before, because actually I'm a believer that I know there's problems that people have. Actually, I'll tell you this one, though, right now. Back in 1952, Dr. Abraham Hoffer, they found a cure for schizophrenia. It's actually a lack of a coenzyme in the brain called NAD. It has niacin in the NAD coenzyme, and actually the solution to that is niacin, vitamin B3 or nicotinic acid, combined with plain ascorbic acid, vitamin C, 3,000 milligrams a day. Those two vitamins, and your schizophrenic symptoms will all disappear, sometimes within a week. 88%, almost 90% of all patients, all schizophrenic symptoms disappear within 90 days. They've known this since 1952. Repeated this study over and over and over again, double-blind studies, and guess what? They don't use it. And actually, it was also done with in the Linus Pauling Institute. Which he's the two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner. They did that in the Linus Pauling Institute. Even after 1952, there were studies in 60s, 70s, 80s, but then in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the Linus Pauling Institute, and it was proven over and over again. That was actually discovered by Dr. Abraham Hoffer. Now, schizophrenia is another misdiagnosed disease, but it's a real disease. It's actually a real problem with some people. There's a real problem with some people. I mean, yeah, maybe not be in the military, but maybe something else. But, even in the military, they can have, they're living under bad conditions, a lot of stress, and anything, getting a lot of strong natural vitamins can probably do a lot right there just to alleviate a lot of that stress. It's not going to be everything, but a lot of times if there is a problem that's a chemical imbalance in the brain, it can be cured with nutrition. These drugs are worse than the hardcore drugs that the Mexican drug cartels are selling on the street, like Mendoza Gang or whatever the hell it is. And here's people are just getting paid to do this, all in cooperation with the government. I mean, even all our I mean, you look at Hospital Corporation of America is all involved with that. I mean, Rick Scott was the big guy involved in that with the big fraud and all that. Now he's governor of freaking Florida. Romney was involved in that. And yeah, I'm a Republican, a lifelong Republican, but I know there's a lot of crap going on in the Republican Party. And it's like money and politics all involved. So they can force this on the military. They got an instant audience there that they could shove this crap down their throats. And so, to you, the alternative media that keeps saying that the military suicides are up because the military's treating their veterans. Yeah, they're treating their veterans like this. They're drugging their veterans. They're drugging their veterans. And anytime your veterans have a slight problem with anxiety, well, I don't know if it could be slight, it could be really bad with anxiety, depression because of battle fatigue, I'll call the real term, they're giving them the wrong solution. They're giving them something that makes them worse. And then on top of it, that kills all your ambition. These drugs kill all your ambition. They make you gain weight, everything. They screw you up left and right. They screw you up physically, not just mentally. That's the problem, man. This is an issue that's not on YouTube hardly. I don't think it's on YouTube. I don't see much on here. They don't say nothing about it. You definitely don't hear about it in the major media. They'll tell you, oh, there's suicides in the military or whatever once in a while. They're drugging them. They're drugging them. What the hell you think is going on? I mean, we actually the solution in the military. I mean, you got all the great food, the salad bars, the fruits and the vegetables over there. Every time you go in a chow hall, I mean, that stuff you could be if you choose to be, you could be a super nutritionist, health nut, even if you got problems where you've got some brain fog or cloudy issues in your head, and you just work out a lot and sweat it out, and you eat really good. Those problems will go away naturally. You don't need to be drugged. But when they drug you, man, they kill all your body too. It stores fat like crazy in your body. Your muscles go to crap. You lose all your ambition. You're always sleeping. That's what they do. They just turn you into a freaking zombie, man. That's what they do. That's good for military readiness? Hell no, man. Now, like I said, maybe this firing squad wouldn't be the best thing. I actually would rather see the psychs take their own drugs. I mean, hey, if it's okay for them to give that to the military, you take it too. You take it too. You just keep taking it. Fine. No problem. Have a nice life, buddy. Meantime, we don't take it. I consider myself still in the military, man. I'm going to tell you, I looked up something on one of my ancestors, man. I couldn't believe this crap. And it's right there in the record. I know it's accurate because it comes from my uncle had the records. He was a ranger in, now you're going to think the year. No, not in the 1900s, not in the 2000s. 1775. He was a ranger in under Captain Samuel Wise in the American Revolution. Then he re-enlisted in 1777. And, but you know what? He came back in the War of 1812. Now, I know he wasn't active, but he was 75 years old, and he was training troops as a sergeant. He was telling them, like, what the deal was, how to fight, and what he knew about from the American Revolution umpteen years ago when we still weren't broken away from the British all the way. So I'm going to give you that message for you people out there that are in that veterans, and you keep watching my channel, man, because I'm telling you, I'm not just trying to freaking make some little change on here. Yeah, I sure would like to, but I'm actually doing, it's getting a lot harder to make money on here because the ad rate's going down to shit and the ad block and all this other shit. But, the thing is, I'm out here freaking trying to fight for you. I really am. Otherwise, I'd just be out there getting clients and charging them, my billing rate that I usually do, which is a hell of a lot more than I make in a single day on this. You know what I'm saying? So let me just tell you, though, I'm out here to fight for you guys, and I got a bunch of stuff on my channel with health. So if you're a veteran and you're looking at this stuff, you might want to look at that. I don't even think I have every video in there, but it's a playlist on like health and beauty or something. Go look at that shit. I got so many secrets in there, and I got them a lot of them from medical doctors. I read a lot extensively on this, and I have been for way more than a decade. I have a very extensive knowledge, and it doesn't come from the conventional medical schools. Like, for instance, I'll just ad lib here, Nick, again. You know, you can go to medical school all day for umpteen years, and you'll never learn some of the biggest secrets out there in the world. Like, in other words, intravenous vitamin C. Vitamin C is a hormone. It can pretty much cure anything. It can freaking counteract any toxin in your body. So, in other words, you're exposed to radiation. You're exposed to chemicals in your endeavors overseas. If you know, I know you could take a lot of oral vitamin C, but you're limited. But if you were able to get administered intravenous vitamin C on 3 times a week, guess what? That would counteract all the bad chemical reactions that you have in your body from being exposed to, I don't know, uranium dust from rounds, whatever. A lot of people, they don't do this in the freaking VA. They're a bunch of idiots. They're not idiots. You know what it is? You get a doctor that can't make it in the freaking real world, so they go work for the VA, and all of a sudden there's some big shit making $200,000 plus, right? I'm being honest with you guys, man. All right? All right? But you could take, you could still take a lot of oral vitamin C, quite a bit. You could take 10, 20,000 milligrams of that stuff a day with some really good whole food vitamins, like green food vitamins, and make green smoothies. You think it's bullshit? Go try it. Go try it. And you got to divide up that dose. I mean, that oral dose isn't going to be as good as, you got to divide it up during the day, or else you have the craps. I got a lot of videos on that, so I'll try to put some stuff down here in the info box. But I'm really putting this out for the veterans. And I mean, you probably, even if you weren't deployed anywhere, like I was deployed half the time I was in, actually, or yeah, just about, man. 6 years and 5 months. I was deployed out of 13. So that's virtually half the time I was in. I was deployed. Now, if you were never even deployed, guess what? Guess what? You still can get screwed over with these drugs and stuff they give you, or weird vaccinations. Oh, I got to say something, because now I'm getting back a flood of memories. I remember getting some shots, and they wouldn't tell me what the hell they were, but you had to have them. And they said it was for some rare disease that you could possibly get overseas. And I know that was bullshit. That might show up 20 years later. And I was like, what the hell are they giving me, man? I don't know what the hell they gave me. They gave me some shots. They couldn't tell me what the hell they were. But I had to have them. I remember that shit. I remember that shit just now. But they wouldn't say what they were for. They didn't say they're like, oh, they're for anthrax, or they're for this or that. They wouldn't say what they were for. They made up some bullshit story that it was some rare disease that could possibly come out like 20 years from now. I got them overseas. Bunch of bullshit, man. We're just like a bunch of guinea pigs, man. And I know the solutions to their shit. I do. I really do. And I'm finding out more too. I got a lot of stuff on my channel about this stuff, and take a look around, because I like to give vaccinations to all those psychs and let them walk around like a bunch of freaking crazy robots and out there in the football field, and maybe put like one in blue shirts and one in red shirts and tell them to play football and see what happens. They'll knock each other out and shit, and we can take videos of it and stuff, just like they're doing to everybody in the military, right? That's what they're doing to us.